Welcome to the Answers for Elders radio show. Meet the trusted experts who will give you straight answers and will help guide you on the path of later life care. Now, here's your host, founder, caregiver, and CEO, Suzanne Newman.
And welcome, everyone, to Answers for Elders Radio Network, heard across the USA on your favorite podcast channel, and check out our channel on YouTube, especially this time in the summer months. We are so thrilled this time of year because we do a special program called the Vitality Revolution. And for those of you that have been listening to us for a long time, you probably joined us last year. It was very popular. And this year we've taken it up a step higher because we are now kind of being, I guess, the babysat, if anything, world, but she's amazing. Dr. Shawn Weiss, who is a physical wellness, emotional wellness practitioner. You are amazing. You work with people, whether they are caregivers, whether they are, seniors, whatever it is. You're all about health and wellness, and we're so proud to have you be our specialist in the spotlight through this series. So welcome back, Dr. Shawn Weiss.
Thank you, Suzanne. I'm so happy to be here. And, the Vitality Revolution I'm so glad to be a part of it because it's just spreading so much valuable information for everybody. It doesn't matter what age you are.
Right.
This stuff resonates with everybody. So it's a pleasure to be here.
Shawn, I was thinking the other day, I think as we get older, though, and especially since this show is primarily working with people that are over 50, I think sometimes we get stuck in ruts. We don't think about making changes to ourselves, and we just kind of go down this road of it's good enough to be good enough. And yet we don't think about even if you're over 50 and you're aging, it doesn't mean that things can't get better. And, the more and more I thought about our first segment last week, and for those of you that missed it, please check out Answers for Elders YouTube channel. There's a ton of content, including last week's show on our YouTube channel and also on Answers for Elders. But Dr. Shawn, you talked a lot about emotional wellness, which is the first foundational principle. And, I think a lot of that emotional wellness is, do we get complacent as we get older? Does that happen often? I think I even find myself being more complacent, and I fight that. But what do you find in working with people in that complacency, attitude about getting more physically fit and being more physically available?
Mm-hmm. Well, I've spent 26 years working primarily with those over 50 years old. I've worked with about every age from, newborns and up. But, the older you get, we kind of get set in our ways. And, you describe it as a rut, which can totally be, we get into our routines. If I've had 80-year-old patients where their children are like, oh, dad's set in his ways. I know, and we're trying to break old habits. And most people do have what I consider, a standard daily method of operations, right? What is your daily routine? And doesn't mean it's good to have routine, but if it's serving you, but we get stuck in these routines and these habits that aren't serving us. And like you said, you think when you get older that it's kind of too late to make any positive changes. And it's really amazing of the small things you could do to make your routine and mindset. And we talked about emotional health. Mindset's everything. If your mind isn't correct and you aren't in a space where you are ready to make those changes, then you're going to have that roller coaster of success and failures. And you're not going to see the benefits unless you have a good mindset.
Right. And you talked a lot about that to begin with. And, the more and more that we talk about the wheel of 8 foundational principles of wellness, I think one of the things, Shawn, that that fascinates me about this process is that we talked about why emotional wellness is first. And for those of you that missed it last week, I encourage you to go to YouTube, learn about emotional wellness, because what Dr. Shawn, I am paraphrasing what you said, is the fact that you can't do, and you can't accomplish any of the other processes of the 8 foundational principles of wellness without having that emotional wellness foundation. Is that correct?
That's correct. And, you think about just even in the last few years, in treating clients, 50 to 60 plus,
Mm-hmm.
since COVID, there really has been an incredible shift and a decline in mental health.
Sure.
And, that goes along with your mindset is, um, no matter what's happened to you or where you are in life, it's going to determine, how you wake up every day. What is your attitude like? And it really
Mm-hmm.
requires a shift to positivity and gratitude and motivation,
Yeah.
to know how to kind of get in yourself and get in your inner self and get ready to do something different and to
Yeah.
reap the health benefits of that.
Yeah. And so we're going to talk this week about physical wellness. And obviously, that is such a big piece of wellness. We think of fitness, we think of exercise. How does it start, Dr. Weiss, and the whole fact of, physical wellness? What is physical wellness?
Well, and this is an area in my wheelhouse. It's near and dear to me. I've been a physical therapist for 26 years. Um, my goal is to get everybody moving. It doesn't matter
Mhm.
your capabilities
Right.
or your illnesses or what we call comorbidities.
Mhm.
And that list tends to grow as we get older of the things that has happened to us or the surgeries or the
Mhm.
chronic diseases. It really doesn't matter what is on your personal list. There is something for everybody. And there's
True.
just so many reasons to move your body. And even
Mhm.
if it's 10 minutes, if it's 5 minutes,
Yeah.
if you're not an exerciser or you feel like you can't because of your comorbidities such as pain, etc.,
Mhm.
there's a way to move your body.
Mhm.
And moving your body is so important that if you think about all the things that it does,
Mhm.
helps your emotional wellness, right?
It
I mean,
does.
moving your body has been
Emotion is created by motion. Yeah.
medically proven time and time again to reduce anxiety, to reduce depression, to to relax, to help you
Yeah.
sleep. I mean, and
Yeah.
that all goes into emotional health. So that's one of the primary reasons. It also helps with cardiovascular health.
Mhm.
I don't care if you have to sit in a chair and march your legs, or if you're somebody who's
Mhm.
over 60 and is still taking 5 mile walks. It doesn't matter.
Right.
You can improve your cardiovascular fitness
Right.
by simply moving your body.
And I think it starts with baby steps. You may not be in the mindset to walk or,
Right.
the kind of thing. Maybe it's the first time you go is you go to the end of the block and back. And you can build that up over time, can you not?
Absolutely. I always say to start with 5 minutes, and it depends on the individual.
Hmm.
You might be using a walker. That's okay. How about many laps can we take around the house today? Let's start there.
Yeah,
Or if I'm working
absolutely.
with somebody who's, I've
Mhm.
had my 75-year-olds who are avid hikers and
Yeah.
are really into fitness and have exercised their whole life. Well, I'm going to challenge them as well,
Yeah,
to set
absolutely.
goals, right? But it can
Absolutely.
start with something as simple as 5 minutes. And in that 5 minutes, especially when it's weight bearing activity, that's your walking.
Hmm.
I don't run anymore. I've had my knee replaced. That's just out of the question and never liked it anyway. I feel it's bad for you. But when you're walking, you're building bone density. It's
Hmm.
helping keep
Hmm.
your bone structures,
Hmm.
strong,
Yeah.
which reduces your risk of fractures.
Hmm.
It's also reducing your risk of falls by helping
Hmm.
balance and coordination.
Right.
So walking is my number one pick. If you're able to walk safely, even with an assisted device,
Hmm.
get up and walk because you are standing erect, which helps your
Hmm.
posture. You're helping your bones. You're improving your lung capacity.
Hmm.
So walking is my favorite thing. But even if
Yes.
you can't do walking, there's many other things you can do in a seated position that get your
Hmm.
heart up
Hmm.
too. So
Yeah. And obviously with walking and movement, people that have, maybe they can't walk, maybe they can swim. I know that swimming is a wonderful activity, is it not?
if you can get to any of your local senior centers or rec centers and do these, they have a lot of senior exercises, water
They
aerobics.
do.
I have a mother-in-law who's 80 years old. She does not miss her water aerobics
I
every
love
single
that.
morning.
Hmm.
And it's fantastic. And she's a two-time cancer survivor and has a bad back and a hip, and she just keeps going. And those are one of the
Wow.
ones that helps preserve her joint function and her flexibility. So
Right.
swimming is one of the best activities you can do if you have access to being able to swim. And some people that's not possible because they don't have access to the water, but absolutely one of my favorite things to do.
Yes. And Dr. Weiss, you work with families on, individuals, people that want to improve their lives through wellness. And so I want to make sure that people can reach you. So how do we reach you to make sure that you can help them?
Well, if you visit my website, which is seniorhealthandwellness.org, you will have an easy way to contact me. If any questions at all, I will hop on a free call. I love to hear stories in any way I can help. So seniorhealthandwellness.org will give you lots of great information there.
Fabulous. And Dr. Weiss and we will be right back right after this. Answers for Elders thanks you for watching the Vitality Revolution. Discover a blueprint to find a whole new gear in life, new awareness, and greater potential. Subscribe and be a part of our community. Answers for Elders is the North Star of navigating senior care, featuring content to help later life go a lot easier.